Hi, it's that day again. We are discussing the Hávamál. Today we are doing stanza 6. So as always, I'm going to show you what it says and then I'll give my interpretation and you'll be free to give yours.
Let no man glory in the greatness of his mind, but rather keep watch o'er his wits. Cautious and silent let him enter a dwelling. To the heedful comes seldom harm, for none can find a more faithful friend than the wealth of mother wit.
This is actually something that I struggle with myself. Not the boasting or bragging, but because I'm neurodivergent, my way of thinking is very different to other people. So what this stanza is all about really is the boasting and the bragging, and it's basically telling us to stay humble when you're talking to friends or family, not to kind of over exaggerate situations and how to act when you're in company, because people can get very tired of the boasting and bragging very quickly. So I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about. So I have ADHD, which means I'm neurodivergent. If I was to have a conversation with somebody who's neurotypical, they would tell me something, maybe something that they've been through, and in my head, I will try and find something very similar that I've experienced so that I am able to kind of connect with them. Because in my head, it's all very innocent. I'm thinking, wow, if we've both experienced this, we could kind of help each other. So in my mind, I'm trying to do something good for that person. But a neurotypical would see it as that I'm trying to do one better, or that I'm trying to one-up them. So this is like a barrier because of the way our minds work so differently. The other person will see it as something negative when that isn't intended at all. And that is just an example of a misunderstanding in social situations where it can be seen as a very negative thing. But I think in general, boasting and bragging is very negative, and let's face it, nobody wants to hear it, do they? So it's telling us sometimes all we need to do is observe. There's a time for us to speak and a time for us to be quiet. And let's say your friend is having a moment and they just want to offload. At that moment in time, they haven't asked for your unsolicited advice or opinions. They just want to get it out. They just want you to listen to what they're going through. So in that moment, just be a listening ear for them. And it's all well and good me saying to you, don't do this or don't do that. Now, you could be one of those people who struggles with the boasting and bragging. And it is a struggle, and I'll tell you why now. Because, psychologically speaking, a person that boasts and brags actually has very, very low self-esteem. So they kind of feel inferior to everybody else. And what they do is they build themselves up in front of everyone to, I don't know, get some kind of self-worth from everybody else, which then makes them feel superior, if you get where I'm going with this. So it's really about a lack of confidence, and it's very unhealthy to do things in this way, because you're never going to get self-worth from anybody else. That has to come from within. So if you do struggle with the boasting and bragging, I've written down a few little things, a few little tips to kind of help you start to get out of that, which I'm going to show you now.
Work on your self-esteem. People who brag feel like they need to be superior. Feel better about yourself so you don't seek approval elsewhere. Try your best to point out positive things about the other person and lift them up instead of yourself. Pay attention to what the other person is saying. The more you focus on them, the less you focus on yourself. Don't brush off compliments like you should be receiving them. Be grateful and show gratitude. Try not to give extra details when telling your story. Keep it short and simple. Maybe ask one of your friends or family to kindly point out when you're bragging or boasting. When you speak of financial gain or things that you have, be sure to say how hard you worked for it. People will relate to you more. And try to give other people credit. They may not have done better than you, but they have achieved something for themselves.
And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about being a Norse pagan is knowing that we're not perfect. We're not. You know, along the years we pick up bad traits, and you know, we have mental health problems too that we struggle with, and our gods don't expect us to be perfect. They just expect us to want to be good people, to want to be better than what we were yesterday. And that's amazing because we can all do that. We can all work on ourselves. It's something that's very important. And once you start seeing things that you're doing, you can fix them. It's not important that you did something wrong. It's important how you go about dealing with it and how you're going to correct it and change that for the future, so you can be the best person that you can be. And always remember to stay humble. Bye.